Good evening, Joe with India Today. I am Ankit Tyagi. 5 days after the cowardly Uri attack, Prime Minister Modi has launched a blistering attack on Pakistan. Hinting at Pakistan's role in the attack, Prime Minister Modi said India's neighbour is behind the terror strike in Uri. Launching a wheel attack on Pakistan, he said there is only one nation which is sheltering and exporting terror. Raising the Balochistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir issue, Prime Minister Modi said when Pakistan can't control these regions, why does it want Kashmir? Issuing an open dare to Pakistan Army, Prime Minister Modi said India accepts challenge for war.
पाकिस्तान के अवाम से मैं कहना चाहता हूं, आपको गुमराह करने के लिए आपके हुक्मरान 1000 साल तक हिंदुस्तान से लड़ने की बातें करते हैं। आज दिल्ली में ऐसी सरकार बैठी है, मैं आपकी इस चुनौती को स्वीकार करने के लिए तैयार हूं। पाकिस्तान की अवाम अपने हुक्मरानों को जरा पूछे कि पीओके तो आपके पास है, आप उसको भी संभाल नहीं पाते। कभी पश्चिम बंगाल, पूर्वी पाकिस्तान जो आज का बांग्लादेश, वो भी आपके पास था, उसको भी संभाल नहीं पाए। आप सिंध को संभाल नहीं पा रहे हो, आप गिलगिट को नहीं संभाल पा रहे हो, आप पख्तूनिस को नहीं संभाल नहीं पा रहे हो, आप बलूचिस्तान को नहीं संभाल पा रहे हो। ये तो आपके पास है, आपका शासन है, आप इसको भी नहीं संभाल पाए हो और आपको कश्मीर की बातें करके ये आपको गुमराह कर रहे हैं। एशिया के अंदर जहां जहां आतंकवाद की घटनाएं घट रही हैं, हर देश एक ही देश को गुनहगार मानता है। सवाल सिर्फ भारत का नहीं है, यही एक देश है जो चारों तरफ आतंकवाद को एक्सपोर्ट करने में लगा हुआ है। एक देश एशिया में ऐसा है जो 21वीं सदी एशिया की न बने, पूरा एशिया रक्त रंजित हो, पूरा एशिया आतंकवाद की चपेट में आ जाए, खून खराबा हो, निर्दोष लोग मौत के घाट उतार दिए जाए, उसके षड्यंत्र करने में पूरी तरह लगा हुआ है।
All right, joining me now to discuss the speech of the Prime Minister is Major General G.D. Bakshi. He is a defense analyst here in India. Priyanka Chaturvedi, spokesperson of the Congress Party, is also joining us from Mumbai. Shaina NC, leader of the BJP in Mumbai, joining us on this broadcast. And from across the border in Pakistan, Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed is our guest here. Before I come to all our guests, let me quickly just go across to Brijesh Pandey, my colleague who covered this rally of the Prime Minister. Brijesh, it was expected that, the Prime Minister is going to come out hard as far as Pakistan is concerned. There will be a response to what Nawaz Sharif said in the Uri attack. But, a lot of new things. The Prime Minister directly tried to engage the people of Pakistan.
Well, absolutely. I think that was the surprise element of his speech when he, exhorted the people of the Pakistan or tried to open a communication with them by saying that, that their leaders are somebody who are trying to befool them, and they should ask tough questions to their leaders that why they are holding on about or harping about Kashmir when their own regions, be it Gilgit or be it Pakhtun or be it Balochistan, they are not able to hold properly to them. So it was very clearly a very, scathing counter attack by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and it was expecting of him because, there have been a degree of dissent in the cadres and the affiliations where they were slightly, demoralized because there had been no very strong statement which came from the Prime Minister. And I think they will all go home a very satisfied cadre because it was an extremely scathing attack which was launched on Pakistan by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Ankit?
All right, Brijesh, just stay on with me. Let me just quickly go across now for the first reaction before I go to my guest in India, to Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed. Mr. Colonel Saeed, the bottom line of the Prime Minister's speech is this: India is doing well. We are exporting software of $8 billion to the globe. And every terror attack, not only in Asia, but across the globe, is somewhere or the other is being traced back to Pakistan. Why is Pakistan only exporting terror, sir?
Mr. Modi is committed on a nefarious design, and his everything is focused on hate Pakistan. Pakistan is least pushed about that. Pakistan is not responding to any such jugglery which Mr. Modi is bent on producing. And you would see no response from Pakistani government to him. The world is realizing what is the reality. The reality is coming out.
Right.
With about 12 to 13 soldiers per kilometer, 700,000 men strong Indian army on LOC, how come 4 men can penetrate the well laid out obstacle plan? This is absolutely a fantasy and stupid presumption. And then you think that 4 men would go in India from Pakistan with their ID cards and plan written so that you can link it to Pakistan? Come on.
Well, that is a question that you should ask to ISI and their masters, those who have sent them there. How stupid can they be repeating this mistake again and again? I have to take a break at this point of time. I'm coming back to all my guests in just about 2 minutes. We'll continue this discussion. We have a lot of time. All right, Prime Minister Narendra Modi taking on Pakistan in his speech in Calicut there at the BJP National Executive meeting. Let me also now bring in General G.D. Bakshi before I go to my political guest for his reaction on the Prime Minister's speech, in which the focus, of course, on Pakistan was to tell them that the people of Pakistan should now question their leaders for exporting terror all across the globe. General Bakshi?
I think the whole world has very carefully heard this speech, because people all over the world were possibly hanging on to every word to get a clue as to what will happen. Given the current state of the crisis, there is deliberate ambiguity that has been structured into this speech, which is correct. There are several sentences that are loaded and can be interpreted either way. I repeat, there are several sentences which are highly loaded and can be interpreted either way. At this stage of the crisis, nobody expected the Prime Minister to come out and totally clarify as to what we are going to do.
Yes.
Well, that is for Pakistan to guess. That is for Pakistan to try and unravel. Our response will speak for itself when it happens. I don't think any one of us were expecting the Prime Minister to spell out what precisely A, B, C, D, E would be the response.
Right.
It is a deliberately structured ambiguity, which is what is required for this stage of the crisis situation. So, let me now
go
along with it.
Yes, let me, before I go to Shaina NC, of course, who would be all praised for the Prime Minister's speech, let me get in Priyanka Chaturvedi. Priyanka, a lot of people, in fact, I also spoke to a few other Congress leaders before, and they said that we don't have any problem with what Prime Minister is saying about Pakistan, but the only critique that the Congress party has is the way Prime Minister almost linked or, asked Pakistan to join India in a race where, most people believe that India is way ahead as far as the parameters on unemployment, on illiteracy, on, other factors are concerned in India.
Exactly, and I was listening to your Pakistani guest here, and I was actually quite amused when he said India's obsession with Pakistan. I'm sorry, India is not obsessed with Pakistan, it is the other way around. And that is pretty obvious if you even compare the GDP figures, our employment rate, our growth rate, where we stand in the world order. So it's laughable when he says India is obsessed with Pakistan. The only reason we have to engage with Pakistan, unfortunately, is because they happen to be our neighbors and they keep creating and fomenting trouble on our land. That is the only reason why we find a reason to engage with Pakistan. So having said that, yes, it is a little unfortunate that the Prime Minister compared India a country which is third largest in the world economy, and having to compare it with Pakistan and the mess that the country is in, reducing us to that level was unfortunate. But without politicizing the entire speech, I would hope that whatever words were spoken, like General G.D. Bakshi saying he was deliberately ambiguous. Ambiguous is one thing. We need a definite strategy as far as Pakistan is concerned, and isolating and exposing Pakistan is concerned in the world order.
All right, let me now take that to Shaina NC. Shaina, do you think the Prime Minister has done enough to answer and soothe nerves, not only in India, but also give a direct and clear message to Pakistan? And after, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, in fact, spoke in at the UNGA, also just a few hours back in London, and the Prime Minister now terming it as the Pakistani leaders reading from the script given to them by the terrorists.
Firstly, let's understand that this outrage is not just by India. It's the international world community that wants to isolate Pakistan, not just economically, but also to term it a terror state. You look at the reactions coming from within. You speak to the Pakhtuns, you speak to the Baluchis, you speak to the people from Sindh, and they will all tell you the same. Now, whether it's Pathankot or whether it's Uri, I think it's important to understand that a life of even one Indian soldier will not go in vain. What has our Prime Minister said? He has said there are two sentiments. One is the sentiment of people vis-a-vis Pakistan in the current scenario, which is only legitimate. Our heart bleeds for every Indian that has lost life. And for what? To be a victim of this kind of terror which is brewing in a land which they can't contain? More importantly, the other aspect of this entire debate, which is what is our strategy? Strategy is never let out in the open. It is going to be the conviction and the political will of our Prime Minister and this government of ours to do what we think is in the best interest of India. And nobody is siding with a lopsided theory where they are in denial mode repeatedly. The own terrorist that has confessed, what the terrorist Abdul has confessed is testimony to the fact of what the world community is saying.
Absolutely, and he's not the first one. Time and again, India has produced evidence of Pakistan's involvement. And when our Pakistani guest says that, who would be that stupid to send them with such Pakistani markings, possibly that question should be directed to the ISI masters of those terrorists. How stupid can they be sending people with Pakistani markings? Prime Minister Modi's most hard-hitting response to Pakistan after Uri terror attack. I am Ankit Tyagi. It's just 5 days after the cowardly Uri attack that the Prime Minister has launched a blistering attack on Pakistan, hinting at its role in the terror attack. Prime Minister Modi said India's neighbor is behind the terror attack in Uri, launching a veiled attack on Pakistan. He also said there is only one nation which is sheltering and exporting terror. Raising Baluchistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, Prime Minister Modi said when Pakistan can't control these regions, why does it even talk about Kashmir? Issuing an open dare to Pakistan Army, Prime Minister Modi also said India accepts Pakistan's challenge.
पाकिस्तान के आवाम से मैं कहना चाहता हूं, आपको गुमराह करने के लिए आपके हुक्मरान 1000 साल तक हिंदुस्तान से लड़ने की बातें करते हैं। आज दिल्ली में ऐसी सरकार बैठी है, मैं आपकी इस चुनौती को स्वीकार करने के लिए तैयार हूं।
Joining me on the broadcast, Major General G.D. Bakshi, defense analyst here in India. Priyanka Chaturvedi, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Shaina NC, BJP spokesperson from Mumbai, and also from across the border, Lieutenant Colonel Shafkat Saeed. And in the studio with me, Gaurav Sawant, Executive Editor, India Today. Gaurav, let me quickly come to you first. Within 23 years of gaining independence, Pakistan lost East Bangladesh and now East Bengal and now Bangladesh. There is problem in POK, there is problem in Baluchistan, there is problem in Pakhtun areas, and still the only thing that Pakistan wants to tell its people and the world is Kashmir.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his hard-hitting speech did warn Pakistan, and this Pakistan will and should take as a warning. It has problems in Gilgit-Baltistan, areas that Pakistan calls its northern areas. It has problem in Baluchistan. It has problems in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. It has problems in Sindh. So practically all of Pakistan, there are deep fault lines. Pakistan's talking about Kashmir, and I want to take this question to Major General G.D. Bakshi, who's commanded the Romeo Force in Jammu and Kashmir, a major counter-terror operation he led. General Bakshi, is this a threat to Pakistan? Are these just words, or does the government have the wherewithal to inflict pain on Pakistan?
The government has the wherewithal. It has started exhibiting the will. But, you know, Gaurav, I would again say, at this stage of the conflict, all options are on the table. All options are open. If you note, there is very great degree of ambiguity, very deliberately structured in the Prime Minister's address. At this stage of the conflict, I would expect that to be there. In fact, that would be the prudence required for operational security. Whatever we are going to do, we are not going to spell out and open our cards and warn Pakistan in advance. That is our right to choose our time, place and manner of retaliation. I think what the Prime Minister's speech does, there are several loaded sentences which give Pakistan a whole matrix of options to consider if it wishes to persist with the disastrous course. You know, Gaurav, I would like the Pakistani colonel to respond. What did he think of our Prime Minister's speech?
Spot on there, General. In fact, that was the question I was posing to Colonel Shafqat Saeed, one of Pakistan's students of peace, as he calls himself. Colonel, India exports software. Pakistan's biggest export is terror. This is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said as he spoke of deep fault lines in your country. What do you make of it, sir?
Mr. Narendra Modi is a very good speaker only for the Indian audience and only for the audience who are interested in Hindutva, not for the rest of the India. I tell you, nobody is amused, even outside his own circle. And as far as it comes to Mr. G.D. Bakshi saying that we will not show our cards, you don't have any cards. Whatever you plan to do, we know it. And we are all set and prepared to children to react to it. Everybody would react to it. And I tell you, I am grateful to Modi Saab, not only that he internationalized this Kashmir for us, and I am very grateful to Modi Saab that he brought us together. I am very thankful to Modi Saab that Pakistanis, whether Pashtun, Punjabi, Balochi, Sindhi, Gilgiti, Balti or anybody, he is one. And I am very grateful to Modi Saab that Muslims
I'm glad you're grateful to him. I'm not sure if you should remain grateful to him in the weeks to follow, because China NC, the criticism is all that happens out of the Prime Minister or this government are words, words and more words, because even after Pathankot, India said we will not forget, we will not forgive, and nothing happened, and Pakistan did Uri.
Gaurav, let me please cite few examples. First, Pathankot, Pakistan in denial mode. Second, Uri, Pakistan in denial mode. Lashkar-e-Toiba's Abdul, a hardened terrorist, confesses on camera and Pakistan on denial. I don't think that we are here to debate any further about Pakistan being a terror state, because they're all Baluchis.
What is your government doing about it? We know that. We are bleeding, we are dying. What are you doing about it?
One moment, Gaurav. Gaurav, are things of national interest or national security to be exposed on television, or is there supposed to be a strategy where the experts, be it the people in the Home Department, Defense Ministry, NIA, the security agencies, all the intelligence that is working in collusion with the Prime Minister, I think that we need to believe that this is a government that has the political will and has the conviction to do what is in the best interest of all.
Let me put that question to Priyanka Chopra of the Congress Party. Priyanka, does the government have the will? Does the government show intent?
Don't forget what happened in Myanmar. Don't forget the ambush where we went in and finished them off.
Can I? The question is asked.
When will you take the big guns
The question is asked of me. Shaina, may I answer, please? Shaina, can I answer, please? Thank you. Now, can I make a point here, please?
Please, Priyanka.
Okay, so a couple of things. While I do not wish to politicize whatever the Prime Minister spoke, because there was a lot going as far as expectations were concerned within the country to hear what the Prime Minister's strategy would be. Till now, we've seen an ambiguity as far as policy is concerned vis-a-vis Pakistan. Today, we heard ambiguity of words as well. The 3 points that irk me and which I need to mention, which were part of his speech. First, he also spoke about Gilgit-Baltistan. I must mention here, till now, India's stated stand as far as Gilgit area is concerned is that it is Indian territory illegally occupied by Pakistan.
Yes.
By clubbing it with Balochistan, etc., are we trying to say that belongs to Pakistan? So that is point number one. Now, my point number two is when he compares the problems that Pakistan faces with our own country. We are leading in terms of GDP, we are leading in terms of economic growth, we're leading in all parameters as far as progress is concerned. Unfortunately, we brought it down to comparing it with Pakistan. That's not a country we compare ourselves with. We compare ourselves with a country which is doing better and aspire to be at the same level. Now, my third point is when he spoke about Pakistan, these are not new words about Pakistan exporting terror, Pakistan exporting issues all across the world, Osama bin Laden being found in Pakistan. These are words we've heard often enough from 2014 and much before that as well. So in terms of strategy, while there has been an ambiguity on strategy, today what I saw and found disappointing was ambiguity of words as well as far as the Prime Minister is concerned. So these were my 3 points that irked me, and I thought I must express it without politicizing it. So we really need to understand where the Bharatiya Janata Party stands as far as
Ankit, the country needs to be on one page on terror.
Absolutely.
One page, everyone, whether it's the Congress, the BJP, everyone. But strong action is what is required more than just strong words.
Let me just quickly get a reaction from Shaina NC on what Priyanka said. Shaina, and before you concluded your last answer, you said that we have taken action against Myanmar, but we have not seen or heard anything as far as Pakistan is concerned. A similar action, or possibly whatever the government is doing. We're not saying that reveal your cards in the media, but at least that intent should be shown so that people can be, the people can have some confidence.
I'm asking you a basic question, that if you are planning a strategy, do you expose it and announce it? Or do you have faith in the government to believe that the intelligence agencies in collusion with the Prime Minister and the Home Department and the Defense Ministry?
Shaina, I'm sorry to cut you here, but this is not the first attack. This is not the first time the Prime Minister has made a strong speech. The problem is that we have heard these speeches. And when when you were in opposition, your charge on the Congress was they are only talk, no action. Are you now falling into the same trap?
Let me please respond to you. Oh, please, you cannot even compare. I don't think that we are in the game of wanting a certificate. Do understand, national pride is above all. 1 life lost in Uri or 18 lives, all of which are going to be given a befitting reply. And do understand that if we are going to be immature,
there have been 156 lives that have been lost till now, Shaina. Our military men have died, which is way more than what we have lost
immature
over the
democracy. The fact of the matter is that Pakistan stands exposed in the international community.
Pakistan, it's exposed. It is a country with no clothes on. We don't care if Pakistan is exposed. When will Pakistan pay a price for bleeding India?
Pakistan, the fight is of every mature democracy that is watching.
Not exposing the party's strategy or the country's strategy.
There was a terror attack in Pathankot. Where was action after Pathankot? Where was action after Gurdaspur? Where was action after Udhampur? No, Shaina NC. Action cannot be planned after an Uri has happened. Then we'll think what we'll do next time. There have been a series of terror attacks, China, and see what happened
Gaurav,
after
if you think
Gurdaspur,
you are such a
Udhampur,
great strategist,
Pathankot. As you know, Priyanka Chaturvedi says, 150
that
plus
as
lives
a journalist you can be a strategist, I think it's extremely immature. Please do understand, this is a mature government. This is a prime minister that has the conviction, and every word of what he said today. The importance of saying that y'all are exporting terror whilst we export software. The fact that there is a rebellion going on within Pakistan itself. This is not just a war limited to India anymore. This is the international world community that stands united with and against a country that is brewing terror. Look at Nawaz Sharif's response. He didn't even have the basic decency to condemn what happened in Uri.
But we know he's not a decent man. It is immaturity to expect decency from Nawaz Sharif. That is my point. That sari shawl diplomacy will not get you peace. You have to realize you cannot make the same mistake that Manmohan Singh made.
Okay,
what is the point? Because that Colonel Shafkat Saeed, you are rejoicing because India continues to make the same mistake again and again. And nobody is punishing Pakistan-sponsored terror. That's the point. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Uri will not be forgotten, what does that mean for Pakistan?
We get cross-border firing and cross-border violations, please.
Well, let Pakistan wait and watch, and the more it's on denial, it will be the entire international world community that stands united to fight.
International community will not fight India's war, madam.
Any longer. When Pakistan chooses to constantly talk about, they will, and Gaurav, believe that everything does not have an overnight solution. That if there is an attack, there is a loss, we respond foolishly.
Ma'am, your government has been in control in the last 2.5 years. We have been expecting
of all, and our government has done so. Prime Minister Modi's speech today was that of a statesman, where he said that it is not as if we are against individuals, we are against terror.
Okay.
There is no compromise, be it Kashmir, there is no talk vis-a-vis any other issue.
Okay. Colonel Shafkat Saeed, when the Prime Minister of India addresses the people of Pakistan directly, and that's a very big statement. He's addressing the people of Pakistan directly, and he's telling them, you are being fooled by your politicians. Do you realize, Colonel Saeed, that your country is on the verge of trouble in Gilgit, in Baltistan, in Baluchistan, in Sindh, in Khyber, in Pakhtunkhwa? Wake up and stop spreading terror, sir. Will we see a change? Colonel Saeed, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Brilliant.
What was your question? You made a comment and you went off.
I have asked you a question. Prime Minister of India has addressed the people of Pakistan directly, which means he is reaching out to them, minus a very corrupt government and a very corrupt military.
Very corrupt government and very corrupt military, which has not played to your tune of terrorizing us. You thought the government and the military of Pakistan would melt down to the hype that you are creating. I tell you, we have got very strong nerve.
I am sorry, if you had strong nerves, you wouldn't be flapping like headless chicken, flying F-16s over Islamabad.
Of your GDP, I tell you, you are the only country where one can find women room for rent. You are the only country where there is a
I am sorry, the question is Pakistan. Don't compare yourself to us. Don't compare yourself to us, Colonel Saab. You are nowhere close to India. Colonel Saab, my question is very specific. India exports software, Pakistan exports terror. How do you respond to that?
We can stand to anything from India, close down all the rivers. You would see, we would not melt down to Indian pressure.
If we close the rivers, you will be down on your knees. Colonel Saab, enough of bluster. You are a very well-respected soldier. No bluster. No bluster.
But Gaurav,
90% of your economy depends on the Indus rivers. Don't give us bluster.
And rest 10% of what you get from US and other other countries as a dole. But
Pakistan stands with the international community.
Colonel Saeed, very quickly, sir, can we ever expect the Pakistan army and the Pakistan establishment to come out of a denial mode? The world today, the Vice President of the European Union is saying we'll put sanctions on you because of your atrocities in Baluchistan. Will you ever wake up and come out of a denial mode, sir?
From belief to movies. You have fantasy in your real life. Come on, do it. 3 days have passed. Mr. G.D. Bakshi told me you will not be able to smile after 3 days. Now today is the 5th day, tomorrow is the 6th. You have not been able to do it because you know the response.
Shaina, Insi and both Priyanka had a point. Both had their hands up. Okay, Shaina, you go first. Priyanka, you next. 20 seconds each, please. Shaina.
You know, I don't think we need to respond to this kind of commentary. Hate begets hate, and clearly this kind of a response given by a Pakistani soldier, rather than saying that we are interested in containing terror, he has the audacity to talk about women in India. I mean, please, just get real, understand that.
Well, I hope your government understands Pakistan is least interested in stopping export of terror to India. Absolutely, I'm so glad you said that, because that's a state sponsor of terror, and I'm glad India has realized Pakistan is a state sponsor of terror. Priyanka, 20 seconds, go on, ma'am.
No, I just like to, with all due respect to all media news channels, I do not know why do we give space to people coming from Pakistan and defending their country, very honestly. And having said that, as far as his comments on women in India are concerned, considering that two women from the Bharatiya Janata Party, the leading parties in the country right now, political parties, are taking this man on, should be a good enough indication for him where women in India stand and where Pakistan stands on equality for women. So let's not get into this, Mr. Saeed, and please do an introspection of where you stand as far as your own country is concerned.
Absolutely, very proud.
Exactly. I hope that is the message that Shafqat Saeed today takes back, along with what the Prime Minister said. These two women telling him in one language, in complete unanimity, that Pakistan should be taking this message back. Don't ever underestimate what the India and the Prime Minister of India can, in fact, do. Gaurav, the question
and
will
women
always...
power in India. Very impressed both with Priyanka Chaturvedi and Shaina Insi.
Absolutely. With that, we are completely out of time on this broadcast. Thank you so much to all our guests for joining us here. Our special focus on Prime Minister's speech will continue. Stay tuned to India Today.